Lakers roster crunch forces a decision. A star is being chased directly by the front office. Klay Thompson buyout drama involves the Lakers. One insider says the price is too high on a familiar name. The center search is still not over. This could be the most complicated August in years for LA. Welcome back to the channel. Your home for the latest Lakers news, trade rumors, roster moves, and breaking developments. Before we begin, tell us in the comments which move you think the front office should prioritize. Let's get into it. The Lakers have a math problem. Once the Kevin Looney and Matisse Thybulle contracts become official, the roster will carry 16 guaranteed deals, one more than the NBA allows. Someone has to go before the season starts. To make it more complicated, the team is sitting less than $2 million below the luxury tax line, which limits how they can maneuver. According to reporting from NBC Sports, the front office is already working through the roster math, even as they continue exploring outside additions. This isn't just a paperwork issue. Every roster spot right now is a trade chip, a trim candidate, or a bet on next season. Whoever gets cut isn't just losing a job. They're revealing who the front office actually values going into the year. The obstacle is that trimming a guaranteed contract usually means eating money, finding a trade partner, or using a rarely loved waiver mechanism. None of those are free. The tension here is real. Cutting the wrong player for cap reasons could thin out depth the team needs in the playoffs. Keeping too much depth could box them out of the tax line and limit in-season flexibility. The bigger question is whether the front office trims for math reasons or basketball reasons, and whether those two things end up being the same player. That is not the only major decision facing the front office. The Lakers haven't stopped calling. According to ESPN's Anthony Slater, team president Rob Pelinka has personally kept the line open to Jonathan Kuminga, pitching him directly on a roll with the franchise, including, reportedly, a chance to start. The problem? The offer hasn't been lucrative enough to get Kuminga to actually jump. There's also a third team in the mix. The Hawks have been floated as a potential player, reportedly eyeing swap rights to the Lakers' 2032 first-round pick, the only future first they're currently allowed to trade, as part of any deal that gets Kuminga to Atlanta instead. From a fit perspective, it's an interesting swing. Kuminga is a high-upside, downhill athlete who could add something the current roster lacks around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. But there's a real question of scheme fit. His history under Steve Kerr in Golden State showed real friction working off the ball, and a Redick-run offense is likely to ask a lot of the same things. The price is also a factor. That 2032 pick is the Lakers' last flexible trade asset. Spending it on a player whose fit is still unproven is a real gamble. The situation stays unresolved for now. Kuminga hasn't jumped, the Lakers haven't upped the offer publicly, and the Hawks are lurking with an asset the Lakers actually value. Meanwhile, another situation is heating up, this one off the trade market entirely. Here's a name a lot of fans didn't expect to see connected to the Lakers again this summer. Klay Thompson. Sources indicate the Mavericks are, in their own words, very resistant to giving Thompson a buyout, specifically because of interest from the Lakers and the Heat. In other words, Dallas doesn't want to hand a useful player to a potential contender for nothing. Adding fuel to it, Thompson has reportedly said he's open to playing in Los Angeles next season, but that's a meaningful subplot. A team doesn't usually block a buyout out of spite. It's usually about not wanting to strengthen a team they might see again. That alone tells you Dallas sees Thompson as more useful to the Lakers than to themselves right now. For LA, adding a shooter of Thompson's caliber late in his career at a buyout price will be about as low risk as star additions get. He wouldn't need touches, he'd need catches and space, both of which a Doncic-Reeves backcourt can generate in bulk. The obstacle is simple. None of this works if Dallas doesn't move. And right now, they're holding the line. The bigger question is whether the Mavericks' resistance softens as the season approaches, or whether Thompson ends up staying put, and this becomes a storyline that never actually develops. That's not the only front where the Lakers are being cautious. Not every rumor ends in pursuit. Some end in the team quietly backing away. The Lakers have been connected to Mavericks forward P.J. Washington, a name with obvious appeal. He was a rotation piece on Dallas's 2024 Finals run and fills a frontcourt need. But according to a Western Conference executive, the interest may not go much further than speculation. They don't want that contract. The issue isn't Washington's talent, it's his extension. As more teams get squeezed by the league's tax apron rules, taking on a freshly extended contract has become a much bigger swing than it used to be. A player who looked like a clean trade target a year ago now comes bundled with long-term risk. This is a useful reminder that not every logical-sounding fit gets pursued. Front offices are increasingly walking away from good players over contract structure alone, and the Lakers, sitting close to the tax line already, appear to be one of them. The open question: does that restraint hold all offseason, or does need eventually outweigh the front office's discomfort with the price tag? There's also an important update involving the position the Lakers have been chasing the longest, that if there's one hole the Lakers still haven't filled, it's at center. The team has reportedly been hunting for reinforcements in the middle for weeks now, and Mitchell Robinson has emerged as what looks like a fallback option, suggesting their preferred targets haven't materialized, but that's the uncomfortable part of this story. It's not that the Lakers don't know what they need. It's that the market hasn't given them a clean answer yet. Every available center comes with a catch: age, injury history, contract size, or a team unwilling to deal. This is where the earlier stories start to connect. The roster crunch limits what they can absorb. The Kuminga pursuit is tying up their last flexible pick. The Washington restraint shows they're wary of bad contracts. All of that narrows the paths left to solve the center problem. Here's the debate. Should the Lakers settle for a good enough veteran center now to shore up the middle, or hold out and risk starting the season with the same hole they had last year? That's the state of the Lakers offseason right now. A roster squeeze, a star they can't quite land, a buyout standoff, a contract they're avoiding, and a center spot still unsolved. Should the front office settle for a stopgap at center, or hold out for a real difference maker? Tell us which one in the comments. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more Lakers news and analysis. See you in the next video.